What is up? All right, so okay, collective. I'm gonna be talking about today a story that I'm learning in the Bible. All right, now no matter what, I feel like it's always good for us to learn, right? So I have just been learning a little bit at a time, a little story at a time, getting into it a little bit at a time. So, it might be some people out there with me that are getting to know it a little bit at a time, right? Learning to know the stories a little bit at a time, learning to know about God a little bit at a time. Not saying that we never believed in God, right? Because we have, but maybe we never really went deep and like read the Bible, or really went deep and just tried to learn something out of the Bible, right? For ourselves. So I feel like, those that I'm talking to, those that I'm connecting with, y'all are kind of just getting y'all foot in the water dealing with God, all right? And some of y'all that I'm talking to, maybe y'all don't go to church, maybe y'all never, been to church or anything like that, or maybe y'all have just had a perception about church that, may have left a bad taste in your mouth or something like that. Maybe the most people that have hurt you have been the people at the church, or that has, said that, oh man, I love God, I praise God, oh God, right? At the church. Now, I have experienced that myself. I've experienced in my life where, somebody that can, say that they can go to church or even know more about the Bible than me, and they maybe even have grew up in a church where they were the most abusive, the most disrespectful, the most, I felt like, demonic ever, right? They were just not holier than thou as they seem to be holier than thou. And it made me question, like, man, if this person says they for God, why do they gotta be like this? Or man, they know even more than me about the Bible, but why do they act like this? Why do they have to be so cruel like this? So, you know, it has had me wondering, like, not that I'm questioning God, but I just sometimes question about certain things or certain individuals, right? And or I've heard things, and I'll be sitting at the bus stop, and some ladies will be just gossiping and talking about somebody else so harshly, so negatively, and I'll just be like, man, why does it gotta be that way? Why do you have to feel that way? Or what I'm saying, why you just can't, I don't know, uplift the woman or uplift the man, all right? I don't know, So yeah, but that's enough of my rant. That's enough of my rant, right? But I never, one thing that, if I didn't know much about the Bible, I did grow up in a church. When I was a little girl, I was in a choir, and I used to sing in a choir. And I know my mom, when I like think back, I went to a Baptist church, and I stayed in the suburbs for a while. And I used to remember that, my mom used to say, oh yeah, we're going to the pastor house, or after, to have like a little snack. I remember they gave us like little snacks, and I think I remember my mom just sitting around, in a circle, conversating with some church members after church, but I really can't remember too much about it, you know what I mean? And yeah, I knew that I always loved God, but once I, moved, and a lot of us move, and we stopped going to church, or whatever reason why our parents stopped going to church, and we just wasn't as connected as we used to be, right? And yeah. So the last time I've been to church was when TD Jakes came to church out here in Chicago. So that's the last time I've been to church. But I've never stopped believing in God. I never stopped praising God. I never stopped praying to God, you know what I mean? As well. And at one point in time when I was with somebody in the past, my kid's father, I had actually asked, like, oh man, like I was like, man, Jesus, like, have you ever loved Jesus so much? Like, I even saw myself like walking down the street, like, oh man, Jesus, that is my man. Like, how am I in love with Jesus? Oh man, that was a couple years ago though. And I would say that coming to like a lot of things on social media since COVID and being exposed to a lot of things on social media after COVID, it has poured a lot into my brain, into my mind. It has me thinking about a lot of things, you know what I mean, as well. Like, wow, what is true? Is this true? Is that true? And I know I'm not the only one that's thinking like, man, what is true? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is true right now? Y'all are blowing me away, you know? But I never stopped believing in God. No matter what they say, I never stopped believing in God. And I remember I had asked somebody, I was like, man, do I have to be a certain religion to believe in God? That's what I asked. And right now in my life, I just want to learn, right? Because the stories that I hear, I be so amazed. It's like I'm a kid just learning new things, right? And I feel like it's a lot of us out there that maybe even don't know half of it, right? Like, I feel like it's more of us that don't know about what is going on in the world than us that do. And I feel like before we go on to maybe believe in everything else, we need to first start out with what is here and what is in the Bible. We need to learn this first. Like, just learn this first, right? Before we try to learn other things first, right? That's just my opinion. And this is kind of like the story that I've been reading, or that I just read, right? About the three young men in a fiery furnace, and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now, I might be saying their names wrong. Like I said, I don't really know how to pronounce their names, right? But these three young men, they were basically captured by some enemy soldiers. And when they were captured, they were took into another place where they had a king that did not believe in God. This king worshipped something else. This king had a 90-foot tall golden statue idol of this thing that he worshipped, right? But these three young men, they strongly believed in God. They strongly worshiped him. And I feel like a lot of y'all, even if y'all have went down dark pastures, or even if y'all have looked at how other people were doing things, it was like, man, all right, I haven't never stopped believing in God. You know what I'm saying? Even if, people that have said that they were for God have hurt you deeply, or have betrayed you deeply, or have cursed you deeply, or have just did certain things to you deeply, I feel like you just never stop believing in God. And that's one thing that you have held on to, was God. And now see, these three men, right? They believed in God so much, but this man, this king, right? He would have them like listen to music, and when the music come on, everybody would have to worship this idol, would have to worship this thing, right? And if you didn't worship this idol like everybody else was, and if you didn't get up and dance when the music started to play, or bow down, this king would make you burn alive. You have to go to the fiery furnace, the burning fiery furnace. All right. And, these three men told the king, you know, they like, look, we respect you. And I feel like that was the main key that I had saw. It's like, man, these three young men were very respectful of what they said and how they said it. It's like, look, I respect you. I understand that. I respect what, you believe in. And I respect that this is your, town, your city. I respect that you are the king. But this is who I believe in. This is my only God, right? You know? And if me believing in my God, right, and the highest of the most high God, is a problem or is an issue, we are willing to die about it. We are willing to sacrifice ourselves about it. We are willing to leave this world behind it and behind him. But they still have faith that God would save them. That's the beautiful thing, right? What I felt, what I what I found out, okay, is that this king, that made him very serious, like furious. Okay, I don't know why I'm getting my words like real tongue tied and tied up and all misconstrued. I feel like they don't want me to get my wording right. All right, they trying to have me chopped and screwed, right? Chopped and screwed. Okay, so this king, he was very furious, all right, about this. So he ordered that the fire should be heated 7 times hotter than it was before. Okay, then he told his soldiers to tie these three men up, and throw them in there. Now imagine that. Like, oh, since y'all, don't want to worship my idol and what I believe in, I'ma kill you. And I'm not just gonna kill you, I'ma burn you to a crisp. Okay? And what was crazy is that this king lit them on fire, right? And they were not burning. They were not screaming, they were not shouting. They were walking around inside of the fire. And this king is looking like, wait, is these men literally walking around in this fire? And they saw a fourth person in that fire, a fourth man. And they was like, and this king was kind of confused, like, how are they not hurt? And why does it look like a fourth man in the fire? And that's when I believe that this king has started to think like, man, this idol that I am worshiping don't got nothing on what these three men is like worshiping and praying to, and to just see them like not a hair on their head or even their clothes were burnt. They didn't even smell like smoke. So like God saved them, and God sent his son to save them. Now this man, calls it an angel, that an angel came in to save them. Like God sent his angel. So all this changes this man's mind about God. And I like that from the stories that I have read in the Bible, it's like more and more people are seeing the miracles of God, are learning about the miracles of God, are like actually witnessing miracles. It's kind of like this is a book of miracles, which is very interesting. And I really feel like and I'm I'm feeling like some of y'all that maybe have been taken away, right? Maybe you haven't been physically taken away from your church. And some of you have been physically taken away from your church, but you have not stopped believing in God. It's like, look, I don't care what you say. Like, you can take me away. You can bring me around all these energies and what they serve, who they serve. But I'm telling you that I'm still serving God. I'm still serving the Most High God. And also, you can be like given up on in some type of way, right? Like, people could maybe even give up on you, but you're like, all right, I still believe in the Most High God. So yeah, that's just something amazing. And a lot of y'all may not be around a lot of people that is connected to God, but you don't allow outside energies to affect you with your connection to God. That's also what I'm getting. So yeah. And I feel like y'all don't allow people to do that is because you have been in situations where maybe you could have died, or maybe where you were homeless, or maybe where you were sick, or maybe you were where you got a diagnosis that you should never came out from. Maybe God saved your children. And you like, man, that only had to be God. And I feel like maybe for some of you guys, your testimonies, what has happened to you, has brought you even more closer to God, but also helping other people come more closer to God. Helping other people like this king realize, like, man, all right, that could only be God. So that is my message that I have. And I hope that something resonated for you guys. I hope something resonated. Happy to be back, baby. Peace.